Hey everyone, I hope you're having a lovely day. Today, I'm going to be reviewing Call of Duty Nazi Zombies, the movie. But seriously, I'm going to be reviewing Overlord, which involves both Nazis and zombies, so here we go. Overlord was written by Billy Ray and Mark Smith. This film was directed by Julius Avery. Julius Avery is an Australian filmmaker and screenwriter. Besides this film, the only other film that he has directed is Son of a Gun, which I have not seen. Overlord is a war/horror film about these paratroopers on the eve of D-Day during World War II who have to be deployed behind enemy lines to take out a German radio tower. During their mission, the soldiers stumble upon these creepy laboratories and discover these Nazi experiments that are being conducted to create zombies. I was very excited to see this movie. The trailer was awesome, and I believe this is the first Bad Robot production in a while to have an original story that's not a part of all of their other franchises going on right now. There were a lot of rumors before this movie came out that it was going to somehow be connected to the Cloverfield universe, and I'm happy to report that it's not. Thank God. So I went into Overlord just wanting three simple things: good action sequences, tension, and some good old brutal, gory violence. For me, this movie definitely delivered on all of those things, especially in the first act. It was so gloriously intense. I loved it. The scene on the plane makes this movie just worth the price of admission. There's lots of brutal violence, people just getting blown up into pieces, lots of blood. It's just 10 to 15 minutes of just brutal intensity. The first act of this movie primarily revolves around the soldiers and the main characters of the story jumping or trying to jump out of this plane and find the Nazi radio tower on the ground. And every part of that goal is so difficult, loud, and terrifying. The first 20 to 30 minutes of this film is so well directed. It moves very effectively and quickly during this time while still building tension in the process. There's just so many things that are happening so suddenly during these first couple of sequences in the film that it doesn't feel like you have a whole lot of time to breathe. I love the feeling of not being able to breathe. It feels really nice. And when things would finally settle down and the characters could catch their breath, something horrific out of nowhere would happen, shattering any peace of mind that they had left. By the time the main character, played by Jovan Adepo, has reached his destination, he is visibly scarred from what he has seen. While I'm on the subject, I should note that Jovan Adepo, who's an up-and-coming actor, is very good in this film. He's super likable, his character is pretty fleshed out and well-developed. This is a very physical performance as he's constantly getting shot at, blown up, and attacked by zombies. There are two other noteworthy performances in this film, the first being from Wyatt Russell, who plays the tough guy amongst the main group of soldiers, very convincingly, I should add. I was disappointed by the lack of backstory on this character, though. He comes across as this person who's been through a lot and seen a lot, and the film just never gets to showing any of that. I would have really liked to have seen what made this guy the guy he is. Still like the character, it was nice to see Wyatt Russell play something else besides a hipster douchebag, which is what he's been in everything else I've seen him in. The other good performance is from a Danish actor who plays the villain in this movie, whose name I'm gonna butcher. It's Johan Pilou. Asbæk. In this film, he plays this really piggish and slimy character whose face you just want to punch. You just want to punch it. So good job, Pilou Asbæk. All of the other performances were fine. The overall character development is okay, I guess. My issue with these characters is that they're all just war stereotypes, so they all feel kind of shallow. You have your nice guy, your tough guy, you have the asshole Italian from Brooklyn, and then you have the camera guy who's just there to capture the action. Besides some of the lackluster character development, my other main issue with this film is that the second half is not nearly as strong as the first. The first half of Overlord is more of a war movie, whereas the second half is more of a zombie horror movie. And I was underwhelmed by the whole zombie aspect of this movie because there really weren't that many of them. I was so confused by that. This movie, or the trailer at the very least, pitches the whole zombie element as its main selling point, and yet the use of zombies in this movie felt very restrained. Also, I wasn't too pleased with some of the story elements that happen in the second half of the film, especially in the third act, which really started to fall apart for me towards the end. It was at this point that the film went from being a fairly mild-mannered B-movie with a consistent tone to an all-out, goofy B-movie schlockfest. One character totally changes at the end into being this CGI cartoon character who feels like a main boss out of a fucking video game. It was kind of stupid. There's also other parts of the story that felt so far-fetched. Without getting into too much detail, there's a character that sneaks around a very fortified area at one point, and there's just parts of this character sneaking around and trying to escape that felt kind of silly and convenient. I didn't appreciate the 3 jump scares that pop up in this movie. They felt really unnecessary. 3's not a lot, but it still made the horror element feel a little bit cheaper. But even though the second half of Overlord does feel weaker than the first, there's still a handful of great moments in the second half. The cinematography was pretty good. There's a couple of shots in this movie that were very well put together, some of which are very intense and go on for pretty long. The sound design is really what stands out from a technical standpoint. It's really well done during the action sequences. It's very loud, present, and in your face. I can't give Overlord a 4 just because of the glaring issues I mentioned, but I did get what I came for the most part. So I'm going to give Overlord a 3.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching, everyone. You are so kind. Leave a comment with your thoughts on Overlord in the comments section below, and be sure to leave a recommendation on a film that I should watch and review next while you're down there. Be sure to check out the other content on my channel and see some of the old reviews that I've done in the past. Also, keep an eye out for upcoming reviews. Hit the like if you like this video, or share this video, or both, whichever you prefer. I don't care. And if you dig the channel, then subscribe to the channel. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.